Former Prime Minister and PTI Chairman Imran Khan has challenged the indictment in the politically motivated frivolous cipher case before the Islamabad High Court. Chairman Imran Khan has requested the court to declare the proceedings to indict him null and void. The petition was submitted in the High Court through advocates Salman Safdar and Khalid Yusuf. Chairman Imran Khan's lawyer Naeem Haider Panjota wrote on social media platform Twitter that the move to indict Khan in the cipher case has been challenged. He added that Khan has demanded that the petition's decision be issued soon and not delayed until the trial against him is completed. The petition states that legally, charges can be framed against an individual 7 days after copies of the charge sheet against him have been distributed. He said the special court indicted Khan before the 7 days had passed. Panjota said the higher courts had not issued any specific directions to hear the cipher case against Khan on a daily basis or to wrap up its proceedings quickly. However, he said holding the trial in haste would affect the constitutional rights of his client. Mr. Khan has continuously approached all legal forums in search of justice, despite the clear bias, especially of the Islamabad High Court Chief Justice. Prominent fashion designer Khadija Sha, who has once again been denied release despite bail, has written a gut-wrenching letter from her jail cell revealing the conditions and ordeal of the PTI female supporters held illegally after the May 9th false flag operation. In the letter, Ms. Shah states, and quote, "Today I am writing from prison because I feel compelled to write on behalf of all the innocent women imprisoned with me in the 9th May-related incidents at Central Jail, Lahore. These women prisoners have no access to the world and are unable to share their plight. Their families desperately struggling to balance the demands of life without them. The women incarcerated with me have suffered unbearable circumstances, and they're waiting for the world to take notice and speak for them. These 18 women in captivity aren't just 18 women. They are 18 homes, 18 families, and countless lives completely shattered and at a standstill. I can't tell all 18 heart-wrenching accounts, but I want to share some of the tragedy that is unfolding with each passing day to elicit the empathy and humanity that must exist in us all." Unquote. Ms. Shah goes on to cite the plight of some of the female prisoners and the effect their illegal incarceration has had on their children. Khadija Shah ends her note calling for justice and an end to the suffering of the female prisoners. She says, and quote, "The stories of separation, pain and suffering of the 9th May prisoners are endless. Each one of the prisoners have borne a punishment too great to imagine. A heavy price has been paid. Whether you're a supporter of the PTI or not, humanity dictates that this trial be brought to an end. In the words of Martin Luther King, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." Unquote. Former Senator and senior lawyer Khadija Sha on Wednesday filed a constitutional petition in the Supreme Court to challenge the illegal and unlawful practice of enforced disappearances. The move comes after hundreds of PTI members, their families, or those supporting the party have been illegally abducted by state law enforcement agencies. Besides those affiliated with PTI, journalists, human rights activists, and social media activists have also been disappeared by state authorities. Last month, journalist Imran Khan was back home after remaining missing for almost 5 months. This month, 4 PTI-affiliated politicians who were said to have been missing, namely Farooq Habib, Usman Dar, Sadaqat Ali Basi, and Sheikh Rashid, resurfaced and condemned the party's policies in a scripted, televised press conference. Today, Khadija Sha filed the petition under Article 1843 of the Constitution through senior advocate Sardar Lateef Khosa. The plea has made the state, the governments and Inspector Generals of Police of all 4 provinces, the Islamabad IG and the Commission of Inquiry on Enforced Disappearances respondents in the case. In the plea, Sha contended that recently there has been a surge of enforced disappearances and reappearances of citizens. Such victims include journalists, politicians, bureaucrats, and other dissenting voices. One of the world's leading charitable organizations, Oxfam, has described the situation in Gaza as horrific, with millions being collectively punished in full view of the world. In a statement, Oxfam has said, and quote, There can be no justification for using starvation as a weapon of war. World leaders cannot continue to sit back and watch. They have an obligation to act, the UK-based charity said in a statement. It also noted that under international humanitarian law, it is strictly prohibited to use starvation as a method of warfare. The statement said, and quote, "As the occupying power in Gaza, Israel is bound by obligations to provide for the needs and protection of the people of Gaza," unquote. Oxfam has said that only 3 liters of clean water are now available per person. The statement said, and quote, "The UN said a minimum of 15 liters a day is essential for people in the most acute humanitarian emergencies as a bare minimum," unquote.
Welcome to you. There have been reports today that more aid has gone in via the Rafah crossing. What are you hearing?
We've heard the same thing, but again, whatever has gone through are a couple between 10 and 20 trucks, not more. Like you said, a drop in the ocean. Before the hostilities started, Gaza was under an illegal blockade for 16 years, and materials and supplies, including water and electricity, were also restricted to enter the strip. This is only a tightening of an existing siege, and 100 trucks were entering at least every single day in Gaza. 60 to 70% of Gazans actually depended on aid before the hostilities started. I'd expect that probably 100% now are completely dependent on aid. It's not enough. International law is very clear. It falls short of meeting the overwhelming needs of Gaza's population and the dire situation that we have been witnessing unraveling before our eyes for the last 2 weeks. So this brief opening only represents a fraction of what Gaza requires.